Long before Tesla dreamed of harnessing electricity, long before modern philosophers debated the meaning of existence, there was Thoth, the Egyptian god of wisdom, the scribe of the gods, the keeper of secrets. He was no ordinary deity in the pantheon. He was a symbol of absolute knowledge. While human sciences change with time, Newton gives way to Einstein, theories are built and then broken, Thoth's knowledge remains untouched. His wisdom is not relative, not dependent on culture or context. It is absolute truth, always valid, always applicable, whether in the desert sands of ancient Egypt or in the laboratories of today. The ancient Egyptians believed Thoth authored the Emerald Tablets, mystical writings that hold the key to eternal laws. Later, in Greece, he reappeared as Hermes Trismegistus, Hermes the thrice great, a figure so wise, so complete, that he was said to embody philosophy, science, and spirituality in one breath. And in his name, Hermetic philosophy was born. Absolute versus relative knowledge. To understand why Thoth's wisdom matters, we must first grasp the difference between relative and absolute knowledge. Relative knowledge is conditional. It shifts with time, language, and perspective. Today's science may describe reality one way, tomorrow's science may update it. Philosophy is debated endlessly. Psychology rewrites its own theories every generation. This is the world of relativity, useful, but unstable. Absolute knowledge is different. It is not bound by time. It is not rewritten with every generation. It is truth that underlies all other truths. When the Hermetic texts declare, "As above, so below," they are not offering a theory. They are stating a law, one that applies in the cosmos, in nature, and in the human heart equally. Thoth's teachings are absolute. They are the skeleton key that unlocks all sciences. They explain why physics and spirituality are not opposites but reflections. They show why consciousness shapes reality, why energy cannot be destroyed, why cycles repeat in history and in the stars. The mind of Thoth. Thoth was more than a god in myth. He was the archetype of divine intelligence. Egyptians saw him as the measurer of time, the keeper of balance, the inventor of writing, and the one who gave humans the ability to think. He was present at the judgment of souls, recording their deeds. He was the mediator between chaos and order. When we speak of Thoth, we are not speaking of a man or a myth alone. We are speaking of the absolute mind of the universe expressed through a symbol. This is why his knowledge is eternal, because it is not his personal philosophy, but the laws of creation themselves. Later, when his wisdom travelled into Greece, he became Hermes. Hermes Trismegistus was said to have written thousands of books covering medicine, alchemy, astronomy, and philosophy. And while many of these works are lost, their essence lives in one small but mighty book, the Kybalion. Before we dive into the Seven Hermetic Principles, we must first understand their origin. They are not rules invented by men. They are not cultural artifacts. They are eternal laws, the blueprint of reality. In this series, we will explore each principle: mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. But first, we honour the source. Thoth, the eternal teacher, who gave humanity the absolute truths that outlive empires, religions, and sciences. So as you listen, remember, this is not history. This is not mythology. This is absolute truth, speaking across time. Thoth's words are as true in your life today as they were in the temples of Egypt or the schools of Greece. And if you choose to listen deeply, to not just hear but apply these principles, you too will discover what Hermes promised, that man and the universe are one, and that the laws that govern the cosmos also govern your mind, your spirit, and your destiny. The legend says that Thoth inscribed his teachings onto emerald tablets, indestructible, eternal records of truth. These weren't ordinary writings. They weren't bound by the frailty of papyrus or parchment. They were designed to last beyond civilizations, so that when temples crumbled and empires fell, the truth would remain. What do these tablets teach? They remind us that life is infinite, that matter and spirit are not separate, and that humanity holds within itself the same divine spark that powers the stars. They show that death is not an end, but a transformation, that energy never ceases, only changes form. The tablets present knowledge as law, unbreakable, eternal, absolute. This is what makes Thoth's wisdom different from human philosophy. It is not opinion. It is the rhythm of existence itself, written in stone and in spirit. The reincarnation of wisdom. When Egyptian culture blended into Greek, Thoth was reborn as Hermes Trismegistus, Hermes the thrice great. Why thrice? Because his wisdom was complete in philosophy, science, and spirituality, the three great pillars of truth. Hermes was said to have written thousands of works, from medicine and astronomy to alchemy and metaphysics. Though most of these writings were lost to time, fragments remain, and it is from these fragments that the Hermetic tradition emerged, the same wisdom that later inspired alchemists, mystics, and even scientists like Newton and Tesla. In Hermes, we see the continuity of Thoth, a figure who bridges myth and science, spirit and matter, mystery and logic. Hermes teaches that truth is not locked in temples or books, but woven into the universe itself, waiting to be recognized. The absolute knowledge in practice. What makes Hermetic wisdom extraordinary is its universality. Unlike relative sciences, Hermetic principles apply everywhere. Whether you study physics, psychology, or meditation, these laws are always true. Take the principle of vibration. Modern science now confirms that everything vibrates, from atoms to galaxies, from thought to matter. Or the principle of correspondence, as above, so below. Modern physics shows us fractals, repeating patterns from the smallest cell to the largest star. What Hermetic teachings declared thousands of years ago, science is only now rediscovering. This is the power of absolute knowledge. It does not age, it does not expire, it does not contradict. It is as true today as it was in the temples of Egypt. This is why we begin here, with Thoth, with Hermes, with the Emerald Tablets. Because without this context, the Seven Hermetic Principles might appear as philosophy. But once you see their origin, you realize they are not ideas. They're laws of reality itself. In the coming videos, we will dive into each principle: mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. But know this, these are not just theories to contemplate. They are forces shaping your life right now. Whether you believe in them or not, they operate in silence, just as gravity pulls whether you notice it or not. Thoth's wisdom is not distant mythology. It is living truth, etched not only on emerald tablets but within your own spirit. The same laws that govern the stars also govern your mind, your relationships, your growth. And if you learn to recognize them, to align with them, to live in harmony with them, then you hold the master key. You step out of ignorance into knowledge, out of relativity into absoluteness. This is the gift of Thoth. This is the promise of Hermes, and this is the path that the Kybalion preserves for all seekers of truth. The all is mind. The Kybalion begins with the most radical statement in spiritual history. The all is mind, the universe is mental. This is not philosophy, it is law. Before matter, before energy, before galaxies, there was consciousness. Everything you see, touch, or imagine is first born in the mind of the all. Think about it. A building, a song, a painting, even an empire, each began as a thought. The same is true for the cosmos itself. Just as you dream worlds in your sleep, the universe is the dream of the infinite mind. This is the principle of mentalism. Relative science says the universe began with a bang of matter and energy. Absolute Hermetic wisdom says the universe began as thought. Matter is not the origin, it is the reflection. Energy is not the root, it is the vibration of mind. This principle explains why thoughts shape reality. It is not imagination or positive thinking, it is law. To change your life, you must change your mind. Because everything you experience is the projection of the mental plane into the physical. The human mind as microcosm. As above, so below. If the universe is mental, then so are you. Your consciousness is a fragment of the all. When you think, you create. When you focus, you tune reality. Every belief, every idea is a seed planted in the soil of the mental plane, and like any seed, it grows. Fear plants fear, gratitude plants abundance, vision plants opportunity. This is not chance, it is alignment with the law. The principle of mentalism tells us that your mind is not just a receiver, it is a creator. Modern science is catching up. Quantum physics shows us that the observer shapes reality. Particles behave differently when they are watched. The act of consciousness changes the outcome. Science stumbles upon what Hermes declared thousands of years ago: the universe is mental. Tesla hinted at it. Jung spoke of the collective unconscious. Every mystic, every visionary echoes the same truth. All is mind. The universe is not out there, separate from you. It is within you, created by you, mirrored back to you. To live by the principle of mentalism is to understand that you are not a victim of circumstance. You are a creator of circumstances. Change your inner world and the outer must follow. This is not wishful thinking, it is Hermetic law. When you hold a clear vision of success, when you embody gratitude, when you affirm abundance, you are not hoping. You are programming the universal mind, and the universe responds because it is law. This is the first and greatest Hermetic law. Without it, the others make no sense. With it, everything else follows. The all is mind. The universe is mental, and once you grasp this, you hold the first key to creation itself, the creative power of imagination. If the universe is mental, then imagination is not fantasy. It is the workshop of creation. Every invention, every breakthrough, every work of art first existed in the invisible mind. To imagine is to participate in the creative process of the all. Hermes taught that thought is the seed of reality. The mind plants it, the spirit nourishes it, and the body manifests it. This is why visualization, prayer, and affirmations work. Not because they inspire you, but because they program the universal mind to reflect your inner state into the physical. Subconscious reprogramming, the gateway to creation. Your conscious thoughts are powerful, but your subconscious mind is the true architect. It is always active, always creating whether you direct it or not. Most people live unconsciously, letting fears, doubts, and limiting beliefs shape their reality. The Hermetic student learns to reprogram the subconscious. Repetition, symbols, affirmations, and meditation are tools to plant new seeds. Once the subconscious accepts a belief, it becomes law in your life. The principle of mentalism is not about forcing the outer world. It is about aligning the inner world so the outer follows naturally. Modern psychology speaks of the power of suggestion. Neuroscience confirms that repeated thoughts create new neural pathways. Quantum physics shows us that observation collapses potential into reality. These are echoes of the Hermetic truth. The all is mind. Tesla once said, "My brain is only a receiver. In the universe, there is a core from which we obtain knowledge, strength, and inspiration." He understood that his inventions were not born of the physical alone, but from aligning his mind with universal thought. How can you apply this law? Guard your thoughts. Every thought is a seed. Be mindful of what you plant. Fear creates fear. Love creates love. Abundance creates abundance. Visualize clearly. See your goals as if they already exist. The clearer the image, the stronger the vibration. Affirm daily. Speak "I am" statements to impress your subconscious with new truth. Meditate on the all. Remember that your mind is not separate from the universal mind. When you quiet yourself, you align with the source. Live as the creator. Instead of reacting to life, act as one who creates. Direct your thoughts with purpose. The absolute depth of mentalism. This principle is not about thinking positively. It is about realizing that reality itself is mental in nature. What you call matter is condensed thought. What you call energy is vibrating mind. To know this is to step out of victimhood and into mastery. The great masters were not powerful because of chance. They were powerful because they understood that to rule the mind is to rule reality. When you align your mind with truth, when you think with clarity and intention, you wield the very force that created the stars. The final step is practice. Mentalism is not a belief, it is a discipline. Daily mental watch. Observe your thoughts. Replace fear with faith, scarcity with abundance, confusion with clarity. Creative visualization. Live in your inner vision until it becomes external fact. Mental transmutation. Transform harmful thoughts into constructive ones, just as alchemists transmuted lead into gold. Union with the all. Remember, you're not a separate mind. You're a fragment of the universal mind. In meditation, align with the infinite source. Speak creation. Words are thoughts made sound. Speak carefully, for every word carries vibration. Now we return to Thoth. His wisdom was absolute because he taught the laws that never change. Relative sciences may describe parts of reality, but Hermetic mentalism describes the whole. Whether you are a pharaoh or a physicist, a mystic or a child, the law remains the same. The all is mind. When you understand this, you stop arguing with reality and start shaping it. You stop waiting for change and start creating it. You stop feeling separate and realize you are one with the very consciousness that birthed the stars. The principle of mentalism is not just the first Hermetic law. It is the foundation of all others. Without it, vibration is meaningless, polarity is random, cause and effect are chaos. But with it, everything is law, everything is mind, everything is creation. And this is the invitation, to live not as one reacting to a random world, but as one who shapes it, thought by thought, belief by belief, intention by intention. The all is mind, the universe is mental, and you are part of the all. As above, so below, as below, so above. These words, etched on the emerald tablet, hold one of the deepest laws of existence. The universe is a mirror. The infinite and the finite, the cosmos and the individual, the macro and the micro, they reflect one another perfectly. This is not poetry. It is not metaphor. It is absolute law. What exists on one plane of reality finds its echo on all others. To understand the greater, study the lesser. To know the unseen, examine the seen. The small contains the pattern of the great, and the great contains the pattern of the small. Look at the spiral of a galaxy, a vast swirl of billions of stars. Now look at the spiral of a seashell. They are the same form, echoing across scale. Look at the branching of rivers from mountains and the branching of veins in your body. Look at the neuron in your brain and the web of galaxies stretched across the cosmos. They mirror each other. This is correspondence. It tells us that the same laws that govern stars govern you. The universe is not separate from you. It is repeated within you. To look inward is to see outward. To study the microcosm is to grasp the macrocosm. Modern science calls these patterns fractals or coincidences. Hermetic wisdom calls them evidence of law. Science describes, Hermeticism explains. The absolute law of correspondence reveals why everything mirrors everything else, because all is born from the same source. When Thoth declared as above so below, he was not offering philosophy. He was describing the architecture of reality. To deny correspondence is to deny the obvious. The entire universe is self-similar, from the atom to the cosmos, from the cell to the star. If the universe is a mind, as mentalism teaches, then you, as a fragment of that mind, are also a universe. Your body is a microcosm of the earth. Your soul is a microcosm of the stars. The rhythms of the moon move your tides. The cycles of the sun shape your growth. The breath of the cosmos lives within your lungs. Correspondence reveals that when you understand yourself, you understand the universe. And when you study the universe, you see yourself. This is why Hermetic masters said, "Man, know thyself, and you shall know the gods." Correspondence is not only seen in science and nature, it is lived in your daily life. Your outer reality mirrors your inner state. Chaos within breeds chaos without. Peace within creates peace without. You attract not what you want, but what you are. The friend who irritates you mirrors the parts of yourself you resist. The opportunities that appear in your life mirror the clarity of your vision. Every circumstance you face is a correspondence, a reflection, a mirror of something within. The principle of correspondence is the bridge between worlds. It shows that the micro and macro are not separate but woven together by law. To master correspondence is to master reflection, to polish the inner mirror so the outer world shines with harmony. As above, so below. As below, so above. The universe is a mirror, and you are both its reflection and its source. This principle is not only seen in the cosmos, but lived in your daily existence. Your outer world mirrors your inner world. Every event, every relationship, every obstacle is a reflection of something within. When you carry anger inside, life presents you with conflict. When you hold gratitude, opportunities open. The principle of correspondence explains why. The external reality reflects the internal vibration. Life is not happening to you, it is happening through you. This is why transformation begins inward. Trying to fix the outside without correcting the inside is like polishing the mirror instead of cleaning the face. When you shift within, the world must correspond. How do you live this law consciously? Self-observation. Every irritation or trigger is a message. The people who frustrate you often mirror qualities you deny in yourself. To see them clearly is to learn about yourself. Visualization. Your inner images correspond to outer forms. By visualizing peace, success, and abundance, you set the template for the universe to reflect. Affirmations. Spoken words impress the subconscious. I am abundant. I am peace. I am aligned. These shift inner states, and the outer world must follow. Meditation. Silence reveals the correspondence between the personal mind and the universal mind. To meditate is to align the microcosm with the macrocosm. Modern discoveries confirm this hermetic law. Fractals, patterns that repeat endlessly across scale, from the swirl of hurricanes to the swirl of galaxies. Holographic universe theory. Each part contains the whole, just as Hermeticism taught. Quantum entanglement. Particles reflect each other across vast distances, echoing as above, so below. Science finds what Hermetic wisdom declared. The same pattern governs all levels. Once you grasp correspondence, you stop blaming the world and start asking, what within me is this reflecting? Life becomes a dialogue between the inner and outer. Every challenge is a mirror. Every blessing is a reflection. The Hermetic student lives by polishing the inner self, knowing the universe cannot help but respond. As you heal within, life heals without. As you align your mind with peace, the world offers peace. The principle of correspondence is the law of mirrors. It teaches that the universe is not separate but one seamless reflection. The stars echo in your body, your mind echoes in the cosmos, your inner state echoes in your life. To master this law is to become a master of reflection. To change the world, begin within. To understand the cosmos, know yourself. As above, so below. As below, so above. The mirror never lies. Once you realize the universe is a mirror, you stop treating events as random. Every experience becomes a message. Every challenge becomes a reflection. Every blessing becomes proof of your alignment. This perspective dissolves the illusion of separation. The stars above echo in your DNA. The rivers on earth echo in your veins. The state of your mind echoes in your life. When you look into the world, you're looking into a reflection of yourself. Practice reflection instead of reaction. When life brings you pain, don't only resist it. Ask, what within me does this reflect? Instead of reacting, reflect. Polish, the inner mirror. Outer chaos is often the echo of inner chaos. Rather than fighting the outside, clear the inside. Meditation, journaling, or simply choosing calm cleans the mirror. See challenges as teachers. Every difficult person or situation is a mirror showing you where growth is needed. Do not curse the reflection, use it to refine yourself. Align inner and outer vision. Hold within the image of who you want to be. The more clearly you carry this inner vision, the more faithfully the outer world will reflect it. The greatest gift of correspondence is empowerment. Without this principle, you may believe life is random, that you are small, helpless before vast forces. With this principle, you see that the same laws shaping galaxies also shape your thoughts. The same patterns that guide stars also guide you. When you polish the inner, the outer changes. When you master the microcosm, you influence the macrocosm. You're not a victim of reflection, you are the source of it. The Hermetic masters knew that to live wisely is to live with awareness of reflection. The cosmos is a mirror, and in it you see yourself. To change your life, change your reflection. To change your reflection, polish the self. As above, so below. As below, so above. The mirror is always true, and once you understand this law, you carry the second key to mastery. The power to see yourself in all things, and to shape your reality by shaping your inner world. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. This Hermetic axiom is not suggestion, it is law. Look closely and you will see that motion permeates all. The planets spin, the stars burn, the galaxies swirl endlessly through the void. But even beyond the cosmic spectacle, even in what seems still and silent, vibration persists. A stone is alive with atomic dance. The air you breathe hums with unseen frequencies. Your very thoughts ripple through the unseen fabric of the universe. What the Hermetic masters declared thousands of years ago is the foundation of modern science. Everything is vibration. The ancients knew this truth well. To the Egyptians, Thoth was said to breathe life into matter to stir the stillness into motion. To the Greeks, Hermes taught that vibration was the essence of existence. To stand still was to be dead, to vibrate was to be alive. This is why life is always movement, transformation, becoming. The Kybalion states it with certainty. Nothing rests. Every plane of reality, from the densest stone to the highest spirit, is held together by vibration. And the mastery of vibration is the mastery of life itself. You may look at a mountain and believe it is still. You may hold a stone in your hand and imagine it unmoving. But this is illusion. Science now confirms what Hermetic wisdom always knew. Inside every grain of matter, atoms whirl, electrons dance, energy vibrates ceaselessly. Stillness is appearance. Motion is reality. This law applies not only to the physical, but to the mental and spiritual. Your emotions vibrate at frequencies as real as light. Fear is heavy, slow, binding. Love is radiant, fast, expansive. Every thought you think vibrates into the universal field, seeking resonance, attracting its likeness. Relative science describes the mechanics. Vibration of atoms, oscillations of waves, the hum of energy. Absolute Hermetic knowledge explains the law. Vibration is the essence of all planes. The physical, the mental, the spiritual. Each is a different rate of vibration. What is matter? Slow down vibration. What is spirit? Elevated vibration. The difference between the seen and the unseen, the dense and the subtle, is only a matter of rate and frequency. The Kybalion reminds us, to know this is to hold the key. The adept who learns to change their vibration changes their plane of reality. You are not separate from this law. You are its expression. Your body, your mind, your spirit all vibrate. When you feel heavy, depressed, drained, your vibration is low. When you are joyful, inspired, grateful, your vibration is high. You are like a tuning fork resonating with the frequencies you carry, and like a tuning fork you attract resonance. Low vibrations attract more of their kind. High vibrations call forth abundance, love, peace. This is why mastery of vibration is mastery of destiny. The ancients often described creation as sound. In Egypt, it was the word of Thoth. In Christianity, it was in the beginning was the word. In Hinduism, it was Om, the primordial sound. Across cultures, creation begins with vibration. Modern science echoes the same truth. The universe hums with background radiation, the afterglow of creation itself. String theory suggests that all matter is vibration, strings of energy humming at different frequencies. What Hermes declared, physics now rediscovers. The cosmos is music. Mentalism tells us the universe is mind. Correspondence tells us the universe is mirrored. Vibration tells us the universe is alive with motion. And more, it tells us that the planes are connected by frequency. The physical plane is vibration slowed to solidity. The mental plane is vibration finer, swifter, unseen, yet powerful. The spiritual plane is vibration at its highest, luminous and infinite. To move from one plane to another is to alter frequency. This is why meditation lifts you, why prayer expands you, why fear contracts you. Each is vibration shifting your place in the cosmic spectrum. The principle of vibration is not philosophy. It is the pulse of the all. Nothing rests because stillness is death. Everything vibrates because vibration is life. To understand vibration is to understand creation. To master vibration is to master transformation. And to live aligned with vibration is to live in harmony with the very music of the universe. This is the third Hermetic law, the rhythm of existence itself. Nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. For the Hermetic student, vibration is not only observation but application. Life is frequency, and mastery means learning to tune your instrument. Tesla himself declared, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." This was not metaphor, it was Hermetic truth rediscovered in science. Your inner state is not abstract, it is measurable vibration. Fear, guilt, anger vibrate heavy and slow. Gratitude, joy and love vibrate high and fast. Peace is resonance with the higher planes. This is why your emotional state attracts its likeness. Not because of chance, but because vibration resonates. When you live in fear, you align with experiences that match fear. When you vibrate love, you magnetize harmony. The first Hermetic principle told us, all is mind. The third now shows, all mind vibrates. Your thoughts are not invisible whispers. They are energetic frequencies radiating into the field of reality. Every I am statement is a vibration tuning your life. The universe, like a great echo chamber, responds to your dominant frequencies. This is the true engine of manifestation. Not wishful thinking, but vibrational law. How do you shift vibration? The Hermetic masters gave practices and modern seekers rediscover them. Breath work. Breath is vibration made visible. Slow, conscious breathing lifts frequency instantly, calming lower states. Meditation. Silence tunes the mind into higher harmonics. Each moment of stillness aligns you with universal resonance. Gratitude practice. Gratitude is one of the highest frequencies. To feel thankful is to step into abundance immediately. Guarding inputs. Music, words, environments shape vibration. Listen, speak, and dwell where the frequency uplifts you. Transmutation. Hermetic masters taught mental alchemy. Anger can be raised to courage, courage into love. No emotion is permanent. It is vibration waiting to be shifted. Why does like attract like? Because resonance is law. A tuning fork struck in one corner vibrates another at the same pitch across the room. Your mind and heart are the same. Hold a frequency long enough, and the universe must resonate with it. This is why vision boards, affirmations, and prayer work. Not as magic tricks, but as sustained vibrational alignment. You become the frequency of the thing you seek, and by correspondence, it reflects back to you. Science echoing Hermetic law. Sound therapy. Frequencies heal. Doctors now use vibration to restore tissue, break kidney stones, and calm the nervous system. Electromagnetism. Every atom vibrates with electrical charge. Resonant frequency. Soldiers marching in rhythm can shatter a bridge. Singers can break glass. All is vibration. The ancients spoke of this as divine music. Today, science measures it. To live unconsciously is to be at the mercy of random vibrations. To live consciously is to choose your state, to tune your frequency like a musician. Begin the day with silence, breath, gratitude. Speak words of power. I am love, I am abundance. Align with high-frequency environments, nature, art, sacred music. Guard against vibrations of fear, despair, hatred. The Hermetic master does not deny low vibrations. They are part of polarity, but they learn to transmute them, to rise above without repression. The principle of vibration is the key to transformation. Nothing rests, everything moves. To ignore vibration is to be carried by currents. To master vibration is to steer the currents. Tesla sought to harness frequency in machines. The Hermetic adept harnesses it in the soul. Both knew the same truth. Vibration is the essence of power. And this is the invitation, to live not as a passive receiver of life, but as an active tuner of reality. To raise your frequency is to raise your world. To master vibration is to live in harmony with the all. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. The principle of polarity. Everything is dual, the law of opposites. Everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposites. With these words, the Kybalion reveals the fourth Hermetic law, the principle of polarity. To the untrained mind, opposites appear separate, in conflict, irreconcilable. But to the Hermetic master, opposites are not enemies. They are extremes of the same essence. Hot and cold are not different in nature, only in degree. Light and dark are not separate, but variations of the same vibration. Love and hate are not distinct forces, but two poles on the spectrum of emotion. What seems to be division is in truth unity. Absolute versus relative understanding. The world of relativity convinces us of separation. Science speaks of opposites as distinct. Positive versus negative, matter versus antimatter, north versus south. But Hermetic wisdom lifts us into the absolute. All opposites are gradations of one thing. Think of temperature. There is no point where heat ends and cold begins. There is only motion, fast or slow. Hot and cold are relative names for the same essence, vibration. The same applies to light and darkness, sound and silence, courage and fear. The polarity is real, but the essence is one. Polarity in nature. Look into nature, and the principle reveals itself everywhere. Day and night, one sun, one earth, two poles of experience. Life and death, not enemies, but stages of the same process of existence. Expansion and contraction, the heartbeat of the universe itself. Polarity is not conflict, but rhythm, the dance of extremes that creates harmony. The ancients understood this deeply. The Taoists drew the yin-yang, showing that light contains darkness, and darkness contains light. The Egyptians spoke of balance, ma'at, where opposites were kept in divine harmony. Mystics across cultures echoed the same truth. Without cold, heat is meaningless. Without sorrow, joy cannot be known. Thoth himself declared that opposites are necessary for the understanding of truth. Hermes echoed that polarity is the law by which transformation becomes possible. For without the poles, there could be no movement, no growth, no mastery. Polarity as mechanism of growth. Why does polarity exist? Because it is the mechanism of transformation. Without one pole, the other could not exist. Without fear, courage is meaningless. Without weakness, strength is invisible. Without shadow, light is unseen. The Kybalion states, all truths are but half-truths. Every truth is half false. Polarity demands perspective. From the lower plane, opposites appear as conflict. From the higher plane, they are seen as two sides of one law. Polarity in the human experience. Consider your own life. Every extreme you have felt, despair, anger, ecstasy, peace, are not isolated states, but points on a spectrum. To understand them is to understand yourself. The enemy you hate contains the seed of love. The fear that paralyzes you holds the potential for courage. When you understand polarity, you stop being trapped by extremes. You begin to see them as degrees, movable, transformable. And in that awareness, power is born. Even modern science cannot escape polarity. Electricity, positive and negative charges. Magnetism, north and south poles. Chemistry, acids and bases. Physics, matter and antimatter. Polarity is not just a mystical idea. It is law across all planes, physical, mental and spiritual. The principle of polarity shows us that opposites are not division but unity. They are the same thing seen from different degrees. To the Hermetic master, there are no absolutes, only spectrums. The question is not whether polarity exists, but how you will use it. Will you be trapped in extremes, pulled helplessly by the poles, or will you see the unity beneath them and learn to transmute one into the other? Polarity is not conflict. It is the law of balance, the rhythm of extremes, the gateway to mastery. Everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposites. Mastering the spectrum of opposites, the secret of transmutation. The Hermetic masters taught that polarity is not only to be observed, it is to be used. You cannot escape polarity, but you can transmute along its spectrum. This is the art of mastery, to shift despair into hope, fear into courage, hate into love. You do not destroy one pole, you transform it into its opposite, because both belong to the same essence. Every thought and emotion you experience exists on a spectrum. Anger and peace are not separate entities, but degrees of vibration. When you feel anger, you're not trapped. You're simply standing on one end of the spectrum. By conscious effort, through breath, reflection, and intention, you can slide toward calm. This is mental transmutation, learning to shift your state, to move across the pole instead of being enslaved by it. Practical tools of transmutation. Awareness. First, recognize polarity. Ask, what spectrum am I standing on? Fear and courage, hate and love, confusion and clarity, breath and stillness. Slow breathing calms vibration, creating space to shift. Reframing, change perspective. What you call failure may be the seed of success. Affirmations. Speak the opposite pole. When fear arises, say, I am courageous. The subconscious responds to vibration. Visualization. Imagine yourself already embodying the opposite pole, See hate dissolving into compassion, darkness into light. Daily life examples. A person criticizes you harshly. The low pole reacts with anger. The high pole responds with patience. By shifting, you choose mastery. You face uncertainty. The low pole trembles in fear. The high pole trusts in faith. By shifting, you expand possibility. You feel envy. The low pole clings to scarcity. The high pole celebrates abundance. By shifting, you unlock gratitude. Each moment is an opportunity to shift vibration along the pole. Even modern discoveries mirror this hermetic truth. Electricity. Positive and negative are not separate. They are poles of the same force. Magnetism. North and south are inseparable ends of one field. Psychology. Carl Jung spoke of the shadow and the light within the same psyche. Science names it polarity. Hermeticism names it law. Polarity and spiritual growth. Why does polarity matter spiritually? Because extremes teach. Without shadow, you would not value light. Without loss, you would not recognize love. Polarity is not punishment, but teacher. The Hermetic master does not fear extremes. They use them as fuel for growth. By walking consciously along the spectrum, they learn balance, compassion, wisdom. Master of the spectrum. Polarity is not conflict. It is the law of extremes that allows choice. Every state you experience can be shifted. Every emotion contains its opposite. Every challenge hides its gift. To master polarity is to master transmutation. You do not destroy the spectrum, you rise above it. You learn to walk freely from pole to pole, no longer trapped but empowered. This is the art of hermetic balance. This is the gift of the fourth principle. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. The principle of rhythm, the pendulum of life. The eternal swing. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. So declares the Kybalion, revealing the fifth hermetic principle, rythm. Look around and you will see it everywhere. The tides of the ocean, the waxing and waning of the moon, the breath entering and leaving your lungs, day giving way to night, only for night to give way again to day. Existence is not still. It flows like a pendulum, swinging endlessly, marking the rhythm of creation. The law of cycles rhythm is the law of movement through opposites. Just as polarity shows us that everything has two poles, rhythm shows us that everything swings between them. The seasons cycle endlessly. Spring, summer, autumn, winter, then spring again. Civilizations rise, flourish, decline and fall, only to give birth to new ones. Your own emotions rise to joy, sink to sorrow, and rise again. Rhythm is the beat of the universe, the breath of the all. Ancient wisdom of cycles. The ancients observed rhythm carefully. In Egypt, the flooding and retreating of the Nile shaped life itself. The Mayans mapped celestial cycles with precision, seeing the rhythm of the cosmos as divine. The Taoists spoke of yin and yang flowing into one another, each giving birth to the other. The mystics of every culture saw rhythm not as chaos, but as cosmic order. To them, rhythm was not simply natural, it was sacred. Rhythm in science. Modern science confirms what Hermetic wisdom declared. Everything moves in cycles. The heart beats with rhythm, pumping life through the body. The earth rotates daily, orbits yearly, pulsing in cosmic timing. Circadian rhythms regulate sleep, energy, and hormones. Economies rise and fall, repeating in patterns of expansion and recession. Science measures what Hermetic law proclaims. Rhythm governs all things. The pendulum of life. The Kybalion states, the measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. This is the pendulum. When joy rises, the pendulum ensures sorrow will follow. When sorrow deepens, joy waits on the other side. Success is followed by challenge. Challenge is followed by triumph. Nothing remains fixed. This is not punishment. It is law. Rhythm is balance. Every swing compensated by its opposite. Human experience of rhythm. In your own life, you have felt it. The highs of achievement, followed by the lows of doubt. The peace of meditation, followed by the restlessness of distraction. The warmth of love, followed by the chill of loss. Understanding rhythm is the beginning of mastery, for without knowledge, you are its slave, carried helplessly by the pendulum, believing joy will last forever, despairing that sorrow will never end. But with knowledge, you begin to see. Both are tides, both will pass, both belong to the same eternal swing. Why rhythm matters, spiritually. Rhythm teaches perspective. When darkness comes, you need not despair. The pendulum must swing back toward light. When success comes, you need not be arrogant. The pendulum will swing again. The Hermetic master rises above the extremes, watching the pendulum swing without being enslaved by it. They learn balance, patience, and trust in the eternal flow. The principle of rhythm is the breath of the universe. It is the tide that shapes stars, civilizations, and souls. Nothing escapes it. Nothing resists it. To live unconsciously is to be tossed by the pendulum. To live consciously is to see the swing, to ride the tide, to trust that every night will bring dawn. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. Mastering the pendulum, rising above the swing. The Kybalion declares, the pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. To the unconscious, this means slavery to tides. Joy rises, sorrow falls, success grows, failure follows. But to the Hermetic master, rhythm is not a prison, it is a tool. You cannot stop the swing, but you can rise above it. Mental transmutation and rhythm. Hermetic wisdom offers the art of mental transmutation. Just as an alchemist changes lead to gold, the master shifts their mental state to escape extremes. When sorrow comes, they remind themselves, this too is rhythm. When success rises, they remember, this too will pass. They learn to detach, not with coldness, but with awareness. By shifting perspective, they rise above the pendulum's reach. Practical tools for mastering rhythm observation. Notice the swing before it controls you. Become aware of your highs and lows, your repeating cycles. Awareness is the first step to freedom. Meditation. Meditation steadies the mind. It allows you to watch the pendulum swing without being dragged with it. Detachment. Not indifference, but balance. When you feel elated, you do not cling. When you feel sorrow, you do not despair. You watch, knowing both are temporary. Timing rhythm gives cycles. Use them. Plant seeds in times of growth. Prepare in times of decline. Like a sailor reading the tide, you act in harmony with rhythm. Rhythm in daily life. In success, when fortune smiles, rhythm ensures challenge will follow. Do not waste success in arrogance, prepare for the downswing. In failure, when all seems lost, rhythm ensures the tide will turn. Do not surrender, prepare for the upswing. In love, relationships pulse between closeness and distance. Understanding rhythm prevents fear in the ebb and arrogance in the flow. In wealth, economies rise and fall. The wise learn to save in times of plenty and endure in times of scarcity. Every sphere of life obeys the pendulum. To see this is to live wisely. Rhythm is mercy, for it means that no night is eternal, no sorrow endless. The pendulum must swing back. This is why masters do not despair in darkness. They trust in the dawn. At the same time, rhythm teaches humility, for no joy, no success, no power is forever. The pendulum swings, and what rises will fall. This knowledge grounds the ego and softens the heart. The Kybalion teaches, the master, by rising mentally to the higher plane, causes the swing of the pendulum to manifest on the lower plane but not to affect him. This means that while rhythm continues, the master is not tossed about. They live with awareness, rising above extremes. They accept rhythm but are no longer enslaved by it. This is true balance. Dancing with the tide. To fight rhythm is to drown in the tide. To ignore it is to be dragged helplessly. To master it is to rise above, using its flow without being controlled by it. The universe breathes with rhythm. Stars pulse. Tides rise. Civilizations bloom and fall. You cannot escape the pendulum, but you can learn to dance with it. This is the gift of the fifth principle. Rhythm as teacher, rhythm as balance, rhythm as freedom. Everything flows, out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. No such thing as chance. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. With these words, the Kybalion declares the sixth Hermetic principle, cause and effect. Nothing happens by accident. Nothing arises without reason. What people call luck or chance is simply a word for causes unseen, chains of law too subtle to notice. The Hermetic master sees deeper. They understand that behind every event is a chain of causes stretching back into infinity. And every action, every thought, every vibration sent forth becomes a cause rippling into eternity, shaping the effects yet to come. The principle of cause and effect is not unique to Hermeticism. It echoes across the ages. In Egypt, Ma'at represented cosmic order. Every action weighed, every deed returning in balance. In India, the law of karma proclaimed that every thought and deed plants seeds that must ripen. In Greece, the logos was the rational order of the cosmos, ensuring nothing happened without reason. Across traditions, the message was the same. The universe is lawful. There are no accidents, only hidden chains of cause. Nature as teacher. Look at nature and the truth becomes obvious. A seed planted in the soil yields its fruit. A star born of collapsing gas ignites and shapes worlds around it. The tides are drawn by the pull of the moon. Every effect is bound to its cause. Every cause gives birth to effects. Even within you, a thought sparks an emotion, which triggers an action, which creates a consequence. Life is not a chaos of random events, but a web of causes endlessly unfolding. Modern science speaks the same truth in different language. Newton's third law declares, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Biology shows how DNA causes the form of life. Psychology reveals how trauma, beliefs, and environment shape behavior. Even in quantum physics, where uncertainty seems to reign, deeper patterns suggest order, not chaos. What appears random to the eye is law concealed from understanding. In your own life, you see it. The health of your body today is the effect of past choices: food eaten, exercise taken, stress endured. Your financial situation is the effect of past causes: work, decisions, risks, habits. Your relationships reflect the causes of communication, choices, openness, or neglect. Life is not fortune or misfortune, it is law. The sum of causes manifests as the effects you live. The chain of causation. The Kybalion teaches nothing escapes the law. Even thoughts are causes. Every belief you hold radiates outward, drawing effects that match its frequency. To dwell in fear is to create causes of limitation. To vibrate with faith is to set causes of expansion into motion. This is why masters guard their thoughts, words, and deeds. For each is a seed, each will ripen. The careless live as slaves of causes they set unconsciously. The wise live as gardeners, planting deliberately the seeds of effects they wish to harvest. To believe in chance is to live as a victim. To understand cause and effect is to awaken as a creator. You're not helpless before fate. You're experiencing the consequences of past causes, and you are planting causes for future consequences. The chain is infinite, but within it you hold power. This law humbles, for it shows that nothing escapes order. Yet it empowers, for it reveals that by changing your causes, you transform your destiny. The principle of cause and effect is the law of lawfulness. It proclaims that the universe is not chaos, but order. Behind every event is a chain of causes. Ahead of every action is a chain of effects. The Hermetic Master does not ask, why did this happen to me? They ask, what cause set this in motion? What cause can I now set for the future? To understand this principle is to awaken from the illusion of chance. To master it is to become a conscious cause in the great web of the cosmos. Every cause has its effect, every effect has its cause. Most people live as effects. They are carried by circumstances, tossed by the choices of others, reacting to situations instead of shaping them. They call this fate, or luck, or destiny. But the Hermetic Master knows, to live as an effect is slavery. To live as a cause is freedom. Every decision you make is a cause. Every word spoken, every thought repeated, every action taken sets a chain of effects in motion. To live unconsciously is to scatter causes without awareness, and then suffer their harvest. To live consciously is to plant deliberately, to choose causes that grow into the effects you seek. Speak in anger, and you plant conflict. Speak in patience, and you plant peace. Think in fear, and you create limitation. Think in faith, and you create expansion. The law is impartial. It does not reward or punish. It simply reflects the causes you set. Tools for becoming the cause. Awareness of thought. Guard your inner dialogue. Every I am is a seed. Choose I am powerful over I am weak, and the universe must respond. Intentional action. Live deliberately. Do not drift. Ask, what effect will this action cause? Then act with clarity. Responsibility. Stop blaming chance, others, or fate. Responsibility means recognizing yourself as the author of causes. Alignment. Ensure your causes match your goals. If you seek wealth, plant causes of service, discipline, and vision. If you seek love, plant causes of kindness, openness, and trust. Hermeticism teaches that every vibration echoes. What you send outward returns. The universe is a mirror, reflecting back your causes as effects. This is why masters live in harmony with the law. They do not waste energy fighting effects. Instead, they change causes. Instead of cursing darkness, they light a flame. Instead of blaming the present, they set seeds for the future. In health. Your body is the effect of past causes. Food, exercise, thoughts. Today you can set causes for future health. In wealth. Poverty is not chance, it is effect. Wealth is not luck, it is cause. Discipline, vision, service, value. In relationships, love and trust are not gifts. They are effects of the causes of honesty, openness, and care. In spirit, awakening is not accident. It is the effect of meditation, study, reflection, and practice. The Kybalion teaches, the masters rise to the plane above, dominating their moods, character, qualities, and powers, as well as the environment that surrounds them. This means the master does not drift. They set causes in motion deliberately. They are creators, not victims. They are gardeners, not weeds in the wind. They understand that the present is the harvest of past seeds, and the future is the planting ground of now. The principle of cause and effect strips away illusion. There is no chance, no chaos, only law. You may drift as effect, tossed by others' causes, or you may rise as cause, shaping effects with intention. The choice is yours. Will you scatter causes unconsciously, or will you plant deliberately the seeds of destiny? The Hermetic path demands awareness. Every thought, word, and action is a cause. Every cause echoes into eternity. Choose well, and you live as creator. Forget, and you drift as effect. Every cause has its effect, every effect has its cause.